Dangerous and violent criminals flood our border. And according to the Justice Department, 1 in 6 illegals is rearrested on criminal charges within 3 years of their release. With me, former U.S. Border Patrol Deputy Chief Ronald Coburn. All right, what can you tell us about the criminals that are crossing over the border now?
Judge, what we are seeing now is the kind of chaos we saw along the border prior to 9/11, in which we began making great gains. And you're right, 1 in 10 of every adult male crosser this day and age more than likely already has a violent criminal record here in the United States, has been removed, and is returning. Another 1 in 10, making it 1 in 5, is bringing with him or her their violent criminal tendencies and records from their own countries, of which we don't know yet.
Right, right. When you say records from their own countries, it's not like we're checking with Honduras and saying, we've got Joe Blow coming in, and does he have a criminal record? But, you know, Ron, you have said that the cartels are laughing at us and saying that most of these so-called kids flooding the border are not really kids.
Yes, in my role now, retired from the Border Patrol and as a border security subject matter expert, I am closely linked with the intelligence community, and we do watch the social networks, the electronic networks, where we see the cartels boasting about their gains being made and laughing at the U.S. government's handling of this situation. And we are talking about tattooed up killers coming across, and yes, they may be only 15 years old, but they have killed in their own countries, and they're coming here not to contribute to society, but to prey on society. And
you know, what's interesting is that a guest that we had on last week said that they'll come in and say, yeah, I'm part of MS-13, which, as you well know, is one of the most violent gangs in the world, and they boast about their prior crimes. And yet we are required to let them through, and we're sending them off to Massachusetts or wherever they might end up.
Well, we're not required to let them through, Judge, but we are letting them through. And on behalf of the men and women of the United States Border Patrol who are risking their lives still day and night to protect this border, morale has never been this poor. This administration could step up and say enough is enough. They could borrow a page from the playbook of the previous administration. This happened in 2005 in South Texas. We could stop it if we wanted to.
Yeah, but they won't, and that's the problem. So does our border need to be militarized to protect Americans?
Well, I think what we need is a will of the leadership in Washington, D.C. to step up and give the resources that the Border Patrol needs to stop this, as well as resource those that can expeditiously remove these crossers from this country.
But, you know, Border Patrol, and we're coming up against a break, Border Patrol is 45 miles in. Why aren't we at the border pushing them back then?
Well, actually, many of the Border Patrol agents that would be right at the border are changing diapers and mixing formula and playing badminton with children in holding centers right now.
Very sad. Ronald, thanks for being with us this evening. And
Thank
my
you, Judge.
opening statement from last week on the border crisis went viral. You can watch it on my Facebook page if you missed it, Judge Jeanine. Now, we got thousands of responses, virtually most of them positive. Like Ruby, thanks for speaking out and representing the voices of Americans. But we did get some negative. Gabby says more than 72% of the illegals entering through the border are juveniles trying to escape from drug cartels and the gangbangers in their own countries. And that I have the nerve to say we should deny them citizenship and that I'm heartless because if it were me, I would definitely want to help. Really? Here's my answer to you. Then why do the Central Americans think crime is down there? They think that. And by the way, I'm not heartless. I spent my life fighting for victims and the underdog. And you? And finally, illegally entering isn't in my DNA. My family came here generations ago legally. And now, in tonight's Instant Poll results, we asked, what do you think the president does all day? Connie says, thinks about his backswing and when he can, play golf again. Carlos thinks about what photo op would be best to express his dislike for photo ops. And David said, he simply enjoys the fruits of everyone else's labor. That's it for